Hi guys, good morning. This is Dan. Welcome to Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. For those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much for your subscription. I greatly appreciate it. This is the daily forecast for all signs. It's a shared collective reading. It is for the greater energy that's out there that is available to us all. It is originally created for... I need to switch my calendar over. It is for Friday, the 2nd of July. It is not solely set for that date, so keep that in mind. If you're seeing it on a date that's not July 2nd, that's okay. You might be seeing it when you need to be seeing it rather than when it was originally created for. If it doesn't resonate or doesn't make sense to your life or whatever you're dealing with right now, that's okay too. It doesn't mean anything that is wrong. It just may not be your reading. You might be working on something different at this time. The message might be intended for someone else or a group of others. But there's always something that can be taken from these readings, I believe. Take what you need and leave the rest. Please check out the drop-down menu in the video description. In there, it has my link tree, which gives you all the links to my social medias, my PayPal if you want to book a private reading, my Facebook business page if you need to send me a question in regards to that or anything else, all of that sort of stuff. And it's all great ways to support the channel. One other way to support the channel is by hitting that thumbs up button after watching the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribing to the channel and watching my content. All that stuff greatly helps me, so I appreciate all of you for doing that. All right, so let's get into this, guys. Welcome to July. I can't believe June went by so quickly, but we are now in July. We are past the midpoint of the year. So let's see what's going on here. We're working with 2 new decks, which I do have unboxing videos for. For those of you that might be coming across this too, you may want to check out your July Taroscope, for your sun, moon, and rising. Those are also up on the channel too. That might indicate and give you an idea of what type of a July you may be experiencing. So let's check this out. The 2 new decks that we're working with, like I said, there's unboxing videos for them both if you want to check these decks out further. One is called the HERBCRAFTERS Tarot, and the other is the Fairy Medicine Oracle, and both are really kind of cool decks. I'm excited to use them this month. So let's see what we've got. Oh, wow. Are you kidding me? Okay. It's the Curandera of Earth again, Sweetgrass. We just had this card for yesterday's reading. And the funny thing is I'm filming this prior to releasing the first video, right? Sometimes I film before I run the video because it's early here. It's like not even 6 a.m. yet. So generally, as a rule, I try and run the video around 6 a.m. or whatever, 5:36, sometimes 6:30. So I'm filming first this morning, and this was yesterday's card. I have not ran the video yet to share it with the world other than the Patreon subscribers. So you're gonna see this card twice now that I'm looking at it. Okay, so this card to me, Sweetgrass, like I said in yesterday's video, is very much a pleasing herb or plant that is used in medicinal ceremonies as a blessing to entice the spirits, to please the spirits. It should be a reminder of all that's good in the world is kind of how I'm seeing this card. And it's funny because I was thinking about this morning when I woke up, and I was thinking about that idea of braiding sweetgrass. And I know this is weird because it's like, I don't normally think about this upon waking, and I was thinking about how when you create a braid, it's 3, right? There's 3 sections. And when I was thinking about that this morning before even turning on the camera, coming in here, it kind of made me think of the mind, body, spirit connection, right? And how we can intertwine those 3. And then I was thinking, how does that connect to the King of Pentacles? And my thoughts were that when we can sort of be consciously aware of that and bring that down to the sort of most physical level of our being, which is our densest vibration, right? Which would be our physicality, our physical experience through our body, and project that not only through that denser physical experience, but also through all of the higher, like the mental, the emotional, the spiritual, and we take into account that we are a multifaceted being that is experiencing sort of life through many different, I guess, filters or aspects of oneself, we are able to ideally just sort of bring them into alignment, right? Bring them into support of one another, into equality with each other, and neither is more important. I watch a lot of people in these spiritual groups chase this, spiritual awakening, this grand spiritual awakening. What you're going to find, I believe, and I could be wrong about this, but what you're going to find in your grand spiritual awakening is that you need to also kind of honor the mind, honor the emotions, honor the body as much as you need to seek and chase after the spirit. And so that's also sort of why I find this HERBCRAFTERS Tarot such a beautiful deck, because there's this honoring of the planet, right? And the planet is also very much a physical experience or form of the creation of, this universe in a way, right? And plants provide that medicine that helps to not only, obviously like in sweetgrass's case, please the spirits, but also cure us physically, mentally, and spiritually. So I love that this is the King of Pentacles, which takes us to that denser physical reality of that we experience. He's also, like in a traditional tarot reading, he is the grand manifester in a way, right? He's generous, he's loving, he's kind, but he knows how to make things happen through dedication, through attention, through discernment, through remaining steady, grounded, centered. And again, that centered aspect or that grounded aspect would help to align the braids of the sweetgrass, which would be the mind, body, spirit intertwining around each other, each playing their part and creating this sort of long braid that he's creating here in this card. And metaphorically, we can create that braid of our life. It's sort of like what I feel the message is with this card. I love that it shows up twice today. Because it's teaching us, ideally, or at least maybe it's only teaching me, I don't know, but ideally it's bringing me to this consciousness or this awareness of that life is to be enjoyed, life is to be honored, life is to be, we are to be grateful for that life. And that's kind of what sweetgrass to me in ceremony would represent. And by no means am I some sort of ceremony authority. There are people that are far more knowledgeable on ceremony and shamanic work than I am. But when I think of the burning of sweetgrass, it's kind of like an offering back to the gods or to the spirits. To bring them pleasure, to say thank you to them. And I love that it's sort of like it's gifted to us from the planet, and then we return it back to spirit through the ceremonial braiding and then the burning, right, and the honor of that, right? So it kind of hits all of those areas in between too, ideally, or at least that's the concept that I'm having early this morning. It's funny that this card is showing up again today because it was totally in my head before I came in here. I was also thinking about looking up curandera. Maybe I should do that right now. Let's do that class, because I want to also know and do tribute to what is a curandera. I'm sorry, it's early. So let me look this up really quick. I believe it's like sort of like a shamanic, like what we would consider maybe even a witch doctor or a shamanic practitioner or healer, but I want to make sure of that. Give me one moment. I am looking it up right now. It's a healer, exactly. Mexican traditional medicine. So it is connected to Mexico too, which I think is beautiful. So, okay. And it's the art of the healing art of Mexico is curanderismo. So I will have to look this up. They're traditional Latino healers. So I love it. So this card is back to us today, and I will say this, that maybe the truth, remember that we have that underpinning stone that runs throughout this entirety of this week, and the truth to me within this card, because we're seeking this truth, or we're uncovering this truth, and yesterday's stone was knowledge, which would also tie into truth, right? The truth is about the braid to me is that mind, body, spirit entwining and becoming one, and then like, if we think of us as the braid, if we intertwine our mind, our body, and our spirit and have them work together in harmony, in appreciation of one another, in gratitude towards one another, all of that, right? In equality of one another, not giving one more credence over the other or special treatment in a sense, we are able to then sort of light ourselves on fire And I don't mean this literally, people. So have your coffee, don't get your lighters. But what I mean is by living our life to the fullest within that state, we then sort of burn our energy to a degree that creates the smoke that the sweetgrass would create that would please spirit. Does that make sense? Or our God, or our higher power, or our spirit guides, or our higher self. And so I'm really sort of obsessed with this sweetgrass braid as a metaphor for us personally, and how when we do that, we can create that physical existence from this place of the King of Pentacles, or the curandera of Earth, that is connected to all aspects of being, from the very dense, which would be the earth plane, all the way up through the more what's the word I'm looking for? Not dense, but like the more light, I guess, which would be spirit, or that of the smoke that comes from the sweetgrass. I hope that makes sense, and it's not too esoteric or weird or metaphoric for you guys this morning. But you know, you give me a deck that has got herbs in it, and I might get a little bit out there. And the fairies are here too. So this other deck that we're working with is called the Fairy Medicine Oracle, and this came to me from actually a curandera, in my opinion. I said this in the unboxing. My friend Marita introduced me to the creator of this deck, Maritza, and suggested that if she was to send out free decks, she should send one out to me, because I'm one of Marita's favorite readers, and I thought that was very sweet of Marita to do that for me. And they practice shamanic work through their school, the Path of Ish, which is spelled IX, and they're findable on Facebook or different social media. So if you look up the Path of Ish, IX, you'll find Marita's work. Marita is based in Hawaii and is working on a cacao farm that they have bought, and they cultivate ceremonial cacao, which I don't even fully understand, but they do. So I love that this secondary deck came to me at a time when I'm opening up this deck, and I'm feeling these vibes from this HERBCRAFTERS deck. It's all part of the bigger picture, if that makes sense. It seems to line up for me, at least personally. Whatever, I'm on a tangent, guys, sorry. All right, so let's see what the Fairy Medicine Oracle has to say. I love that this deck also, I will say this, part of the reason why I paired these two is because not only is the HERBCRAFTERS surrounding plant medicine in the traditional tarot format, but the Fairy Medicine Oracle also is its own type of medicine and closely connected to the world of plants and nature. And so I thought that these would be a kind of beautiful match. So let's see what's going on in the Fairy Medicine Oracle. And we've got magical abundance. This is tap into your source of infinite prosperity. Open your arms to receive. This is card number 4. I always associate 4s with a sense of stability, or bringing about that stability, a strength even. I love that she's moving towards the light, towards the awareness. When I look at this card and I think about the stone from this week that's underlying all of this, it's like our own personal truth, right? We're seeking this truth, or maybe we're finding this truth, we're coming in contact with this truth. This truth could be that we are far more abundant, or that our lives are far more whole and complete than we've given them previously credit for, that we're doing much better than we actually maybe thought. I feel like the intertwining, like I said, of the sweetgrass should be bringing us into alignment with our own selves, so that we can see more clearly and understand just how capable we are. And that capability would be reminiscent of that King of Pentacles energy, right? That this first card represents. Again, finding the joy, the abundance, the sweetness in our life will help to bring about that gratitude, that sense of happiness. That vibration put out is some pretty powerful energy. And when you look at the design here in this magical abundance card, I love that not only do we see her sort of her physical body, but she's almost sort of like breaking up into light particles or color, right? Which is more her spiritual or energetic system. And as she rises up and connects more to the light that is within her, she becomes more of that light. She becomes a lighter version of herself, if that makes sense. She's connected both physically, mentally, and then again, more emotionally and spiritually. And she's opening that up, or creating that, consciously choosing that, or going after that. And she's not allowing anything to stop her. Does that make sense? So I like that we have that as another sort of aspect to all of this, is we have to sort of see this abundance around us. We have to understand the sort of beauty of all aspects of ourself, right? To begin to not only entertain, but also intertwine that braid that is within each and every one of us. And now the weird thing is, oh God, I'm getting trippy. When you think about the braid of the sweetgrass, it kind of can mimic the DNA strands that make us who we are, right? That DNA strands are similar to like a braid in the sense that they kind of coil around each other and create the strands of what make us who we are. And they're each particular to our own sort of person. So on a macro micro sort of look there. Now let's go to the grounding stone and see what that is. And our grounding stone for today, okay, I will take it, is nature. So, grounding in our connection to nature is the beauty of this sweetgrass, and how we can parallel or find metaphors within nature or within plant medicine, within our own, connection to the fae, or to our angels, to our spirit guides, wherever that is, and then connect that down to nature and to the planet, bringing it from the densest of vibrations to the highest vibrations, and really understanding it, owning it, choosing it, stabilizing it, honoring it. All of that is what's to be done today. That's my feeling, and I believe that that's the truth that we're seeking this week. Remember, underneath this, we have that Eight of Pentacles, which is that sort of dedicated attention and work, the apprenticeship card. We may be learning something new this week, certainly. We also are shifting towards that bigger perspective of the major arcana card of the of the card of Hanged Man, which is associated with Pisces, which is also a very sort of mystical, spiritual, psychic sign, right? And the Hanged Man always indicates that sort of period of waiting where we have to hold tight until the awareness comes. And I think that the awareness, I hope the awareness for us is what I've just talked about here, in this sense of, what this braid represents metaphorically to me, and how we can really just shift our attention towards it and understand that we have it within us, we are part of it, and honor that, and then sort of allow that to burn. And by burn, what I mean is just through the honoring of it, the acknowledgement of it, the acceptance of it, the gratitude of it, the living our life from that perspective sets us aflame, so to speak. And that's a good thing. And then that flame kind of allows us to sort of dissolve in a way similar to this magical abundance, where we are able to see the colors more brightly, the opportunities more clearly. The setbacks no longer really are setbacks. They're just sort of parts of life that are there to divert us or turn us in a different direction, or maybe teach us something a little bit more about ourselves, or do you know what I'm saying? I hope that makes sense. So when I say grounding in nature, we have to trust that nature always has a way, right? And there's that idea too that nature abhors a vacuum. I love that phrase, because it's always when something is taken away or removed or changed, something replaces it or grows back in its place. And so there's a chaos and a wildness to nature, but it all sort of serves a purpose, and it all is interconnected, similar to the three strands of the braid that is within each of us. I hope this makes sense, and I'm not sounding too kooky, you guys. But to me, it makes sense. Maybe I need more coffee. That is your forecast for the day. This went a little bit long. I'm sorry. Go out and mitigate. Be grateful for the abundance that is in your life. Find the magic. Look for the synchronicities. Be your own healer today by honoring all aspects of self, bringing that all the way down to the sort of core part of who you are, or the densest version of who you are, which would be that Pentacles earthbound being. and connect that to the magic and the earthiness of nature today, and understand that as deeply as you can, because I think that there's gifts and truths, knowledge, miracles, vision, all of that, all of those wonderful words that we saw this week. We saw truth, miracle, vision, respect, knowledge. Like, use all of that today. That is your forecast for the day. I hope you guys enjoy it. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. We will see where these decks take us. Could be pretty trippy. So buckle up, kids. We're going for a ride. All right. I love you all. Take care, and thank you so much. Please hit the thumbs up button and subscribe, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.